Hello, this is Karen Sunt, and we are here with Talking the Five, and I am talking with Terri Frost, who is running for
Arizona State Senate, District 1.
As a write-in candidate, right?
Yes, as a write-in candidate.
Can you explain how that works? Do you know?
I kind of know. Well, I'm going to get, like I said, I'm in District 1, which currently has Republican Steve Pierce as the current senator, and he went unopposed. And as a write-in, that means as long as you didn't go through the primaries, if I had ran in the primaries and lost, I couldn't go in as a write-in, of course. But I got to, he's unopposed unless a write-in comes on. So that's where I come in. So I go down and register as a candidate, and I have to somehow get everybody to put my name on the ballot, actually spell it out, in the next 30 days.
And that's Terri Frost. Spell that.
Terrifrost.
That's what you need to know to put her name on the ballot. So what are the things that you wanting to change and why you are running?
Well, I think it was just that I was a mom, a stay-at-home mom, and I had gone to school and had decided, I went to law school, got my degree in law school, and then my MBA, and never used it. And I just never really was into politics, to be honest with you. I was more into my family and what I was doing, I guess like a lot of people are. And it wasn't until probably the last, since 2008? Probably 2004 or 5 when I started waking up to what was going on and kind of watched it all go downhill. And with having the law background, saw a lot of things that were happening that shouldn't be happening. So I figured, if it was up to me, I'd just wipe the whole bunch of them out and start all over again with people, that just the farmers or whatever, people, good citizen, good people, they without the background in it, and that just really care about the Constitution, their country, and each other. So it doesn't seem like a lot of that goes on the national level for sure.
So you're kind of up against the career politician, and you're looking to bring back the service into the service of serving, right?
Yeah. There's another reason I'm doing this, and that is, as far as an opponent, Steve Pierce, he's tough because he's a Republican and he has a lot of the same beliefs that I have. So it's really hard to say, I'm better than he is or anything like that, and I wouldn't even begin to say that. I think it's just, I'm trying to do something where I want to prove that you don't have to have a lot of money. You don't have to go out and badmouth your opponent. And with the money that's spent on the national level in their campaigning, to me, I think that's money wasted just to badmouth the other opponent. So I wanted to do something, and I of course, wouldn't do it on a national level, but I wanted to show that it could, that somebody, any of us, anybody can, come in and decide, and I want to get in and I want to make a difference. And even if that difference is just getting out and doing something, just the fact that I even put myself as a candidate on here, is just something I never thought I would do. But it was the point behind it that, whether I win or not, it's to me, it's already a big step. It shows that any of us can do it. And if I do win, that's going to it could change everything. I'm doing this with no backing. I literally had to take something back to Walmart to get gas to get down here. That's so.
Well, Terri, tell us what else you do. What do you do to when you're not running for an office?
I'm a legal advocate against corruption in courts. I am a filmmaker. I am a comedian, a stand-up comedian and improv comedian, and have been on the stage of the Tempe Improv and Stand Up Scottsdale. And I think that's it. I don't know. I do so many things. I don't know.
Well, we were on the radio show together.
Oh, that's right. Can you believe I left the radio show out? I knew there was something else.
Well, you're very talented. You're doing a lot of different things. I guess one thing would be easy to forget, you know.
It's once a week. It's just, no, that's my favorite job too, so I can't even believe that I left that out. I love doing that. But yes, Grat Rock Radio and at Dave Pratt's Double Wide Network. Got to plug that. So, but yeah, that's just stuff. It's one of these things. It's the same kind of thing. I stumbled into radio. I've never done radio. I just kind of stumbled into it. Same with the film and everything else. So I thought, why not stumble in and at least make a point that might mean something to, I think my biggest thing is that so many people have lost trust in the government. I can't even stand to have, if it comes on TV, I just want to, you just know, I don't have any trust in it at all. I know a lot of people feel that way. So I think a lot of it is this, just no one really knows what to do. They don't know where to start. If they do want to do something about it, they just feel like their hands are tied and they're just a little guy. And so I'm showing them that the little guy can at least get on a ballot, and if they can at least vote. But if they're not going to vote, you can go one step up and run.
Well, I appreciate this because I ran for a short period of time. I didn't get my signatures, and I stepped out just because I thought, I learned a lot, and my next step is, learning more about what I need to do for the next round. It's a learning process, and you know what, you got to start somewhere. And the last thing I want people to do is stay home and not vote. Because really, the vote would help you. Even if you thought your vote didn't count for president, it would help Terri here. Isn't that right?
Yes, and if I don't have enough obstacles in front of me, I'm not going to be on the ballot. So I have to get my name out there and my story out there so that they know to write it in. Otherwise, they won't even know there's anybody else contending. So, and I started so late in the game. I mean, I literally like a day ago. So
you're running on complete passion. Is that what you're saying?
That's it. I'm doing it because my kids think I'm crazy, and so I'm showing them that I am. It could be done though. If I do this, and then I can. If I win, even the fact that I just did it, I can rub it in their face that I did something. So I don't expect them to sit around and do nothing. There's 17, 15. Now I got one that's 31 in Air Force. So it's the point that what we leave for our children and what our children are going to end up having because we messed it up so bad. So I've got to feel like I've done something, even if it's so minute, as minute as even voting. And I think a lot of people, that's the whole thing. I've heard more people than ever say they don't vote because they don't think their vote counts. And I know right now that there's been a bill put in for fair vote, I believe it is, so that all votes are equal, so all votes count rather than the electoral. So it seems to be doing pretty good, and we'll watch that one.
Well, also the Republican Party is also trying to establish a caucus, which also would help validate some of the candidates that are running for the parties as well. So we'll see where that's going to go. But I think I get what you're saying. Basically, you got tired of the apathy or the lack of people doing anything and got kind of squirmy and felt you had to at least change that, right?
I get so frustrated because you sit there and you watch it. And, I mean, I totally understand where the people come from because I feel like my hands are tied too. Where do we go? But it's one of those things that you have to do it, and it's not so much on this level. I'm not saying it's nothing like. I mean, I think from on this level, the reps and the Senate, for the most part, try to do their job, and if there's money involved, I mean, I did read something about something recently with money, but
you're talking about dark money.
Mm-hmm. Yes, but I mean, for the most part, I mean, that's another thing I want to that I'm working on is trying to get corporate money out of voting and politics, because where the people that have the money, they control the show. So it's just like a separation of church and state. They should have a separation of the corporations from our personal, our voting system. So that's something we've been working on for like a year. So and it looks like we're going to push for a constitutional convention under Article 5, just like California did and Virginia. So it takes 2/3 of the state, but then if you get 2/3 of the state, it's automatic law. So that would be good to get that out. I mean, at least out of the voting system, if not completely out. But I don't see. I just don't. It just amazes me that they get that kind of money for campaigning, and I just want to say, oh, can you imagine what you would do with that kind of money? You know, I think that we could have a lot less homeless people in the streets. We we could probably pay our vets their money and maybe pay back Social Security with just the money they get from campaigning, and to just smear each other's names. And I think that spreads the wrong message in itself.
Well, I'm not sure what you're going to do. I mean, the corporate entities are going to do what they will with their money. You can't make them give them to charity. You can't make them put it back into the economy. You can't even make them invest in their own companies. They tend to want to, send jobs overseas there for a while. So it'll be interesting to see how we're going to convince the corporate entities to work with us.
That's my point. It's like we don't give them a choice. I don't really care what they do with their money. It's their money as long as it doesn't influence our voting system. Or the way I look at it is it's almost like they're selected. They're not elected. So that's the part we need to cut the rope. We just need to cut it out. And what they do with their money from that point, I'm not going to, there's no way I could even possibly say that there will not be money changing hands even if that happened, because there's still going to be that, there's always people back there whispering in the ear and turning people to the dark side. But I think it's a baby step, to try to get this country give it back to the people. So, and even if we start on a at this level, just my doing it might make someone else do it up above me, and just show that. So that's as long as I get the message out, that's all that matters.
Well, and that's a good, important message. I tried running because I thought, if nothing else, it might encourage someone else to jump out and do the right thing. If I'm not the right person, maybe the right person will.
Yep. And who's to say I'm the right person, or but so there is a right. There's not going to be like one right person, but all of us together are going to be the right people, and that is what we need to do. I mean, we as a people, we have more strength and power than any of them that are doing changing the laws and taking our constitutional rights away. So, I say we go for it.
Well, and if you're not going to run, another thing you can do is you come visit. If Terri is down here, come visit her, and you tell her what you are wanting done in your town, and she'll see what she can do. Right?
I think that's the way it should be. And I'm not a believer in, when you want something done or you have a question, and the people are like, oh, call your state senator, or call your representative, and then you can't get through. You either get a secretary or an answer machine, or you get the email so that someone, eventually might get. I think that if you're on top of it, as long as you don't, lag behind it, you could stay on top of stuff like that. I mean, you're going to have those days where they just bombard you, but it's usually over one bill, So, in that case, I think that's something that I would have someone on the phone giving every one of those calls some kind of answer to or progress on where that is, or whatever their issue is, and where we're at with that at the time, or if we're at it, anywhere at all. So I think that's important, opening that door. I'm really against the secrecy stuff too, so.
Well, thank you, Terri. I think we covered quite a bit here, and I appreciate you stepping in and trying to do your part and changing the country.
Now we got to get everybody else to do their part. My district is mainly Yavapai County. So I have Cave Creek, Carefree, Anthem, New River, the Tremonto area, and then north up through Prescott Valley, and then west of that. So the majority of mine is Yavapai, and I'm in Maricopa. So that's a little bit of a challenge, but I think that those people would be those are the ones that I really want to get a hold of, because I don't think that they've had, I mean, at a national level, you know what your candidates are all doing, but on the local level, you really don't. You either vote for somebody because they have a really cool name, or because they're male, female, Republican, Democrat, and aside from that, they really don't know, or because they're unopposed. And I mean, a lot of people don't realize that write-in, you know, to write in there, they wouldn't know who to write in if they did have a choice. So,
Well, I think some people have put like Homer Simpson down in that. I mean, that's the only thing I've ever heard is a write-in.
yeah, I had idiot. We got to choose between idiot A and idiot B. So I put on something like idiot D or something like that. And so I voted for myself and my husband once. So just anybody that besides the people that were on there. And that's kind of like not voting, I guess. But I was making a statement. That was when I was younger. So, you know, we all do that. But it's serious on a serious note. It's if you go in, it's just going to be Steve Pierce. He's unopposed. So you would have to they'd have to write my name in. And again, it's TerriFrost, like Jack Frost.
And you can't spell it any better than that. Well, thank you, Terri. Thank you for being on Talking the Five. This is the State of the Fives section of the show. So I appreciate your time.
I appreciate you. Thank you, Karen. Appreciate the time.
And hopefully we'll see you on the radio. Or, well, hear you on the radio.
Hear me, see me, whatever you want to do, just as long as you see me. As long as I'm there, I'll be there.
Thank you.